Despite the forecast saying the weather was going to be dry, the weather was predictably wet at Spa for qualifying for the 2024 Belgian Grand Prix. But how did that affect the events today, and what did we learn? Well, here are 5 things that we learned from Belgian Grand Prix qualifying this afternoon. So, earlier in the day we had free practice 3 and it was largely a washout. Most of the session was held under red flags. There was not too much running because of that as well. And even the running that we did have was largely on the full wet tyre. So it was not very representative in fairness. And because of that, the track basically got cleared up of all the marbles, of all the kind of grip that had built up through the weekend to that point. So because of that, the track was very different in a lot of ways to what the teams had experienced. Now, a team that I said was going to do well this weekend, or at least was looking good after Friday practice, and I've already done a video reacting to Friday practice. Do check it out if you've not already, of course. But Haas are a team that I actually marked down as kind of dark horses, really. I thought they could do quite well, get some good points. But unfortunately, because of the changeable conditions and just to kind of highlight things really, or overview things, the entire session was run where cars were running the intermediate tyres. Things seemed to be drying out towards the end, but in the end it was not dry enough for dry weather tyres. But the fact we had to run on the intermediate tyres meant that Haas really did not have much grip at all. They were down and out in Q1, both Hulkenberg and Magnussen. Hulkenberg being a particular surprise with that, really, given how well he's been in qualifying this season. Next up, the second thing, on the flip side of things, is that we saw that Williams actually had some very good pace, at least in the hands of Alex Albon. Now, he had a very good FP1 on Friday. He ended up going in 3rd position overall in that session, but in FP2 it was back down to earth for them, really. But they did well today. Alex Albon up in P11, only just missing out on the top 10 shootout. Sergio Perez, of all drivers, ended up preventing him going any further there. And I'm going to give props to Perez, actually, because even though he only just got into the final qualifying, he made the most of it when he was there. He got P3 overall, and because of Verstappen's penalty, he starts on the front row in 2nd place. Now, some people may say that he should have done better. He's still not performing well enough. Yes, of course, I think he should have probably got pole position today. That can't be denied. But at the same time, McLaren and Mercedes were looking a lot better than Red Bull coming into this weekend, and he managed to out-qualify them all. I criticised Sergio Perez when he deserves it, but I'm going to stick up for him this time. I think he did a really good job. Starting on the front row as well, if he gets a good start tomorrow, he'll get an incredible slipstream off of Charles Leclerc, so I would not rule him out for the victory tomorrow. I really wouldn't, and that would make it 8 winners if he manages to convert that. 8 winners this season. But someone else who cannot be discounted for the victory tomorrow is Max Verstappen. The 4th thing that we learn is he is looking incredibly quick. He was the fastest driver in qualifying by about 0.6 of a second, which is just ridiculous. That was the kind of level of pace that we saw in FP1. We didn't see it in FP2, but my goodness me, he was quick today in those conditions. The race tomorrow is meant to be dry, although, to be fair, qualifying was also meant to be dry today. So you never know. The setups of the cars could be more towards dry weather. Verstappen might have gambled on a wet weather setup. He will start in P11 though tomorrow because of his grid penalty. But still, that being said, incredible performance by Max today in qualifying. He cannot be ruled out for the victory tomorrow. But who's on pole? Well, surprisingly, it's Charles Leclerc. I didn't really give Ferrari much of a chance coming into this weekend, and in fairness, Carlos Sainz, his teammate, did not have a good session today, or at least not as good of a session anyway. He qualified in P8, but Charles Leclerc qualified 2nd, and because of the penalty to Verstappen, he starts in 1st tomorrow, his 25th pole position, which is a ridiculous number. An even more ridiculous number when you realise he only converted 5 of those to victory, I think. So he's got a conversion rate from pole of less than 20%. I'm sure he's won from outside of P1 before. So, yeah, it's positive for Ferrari. I didn't see it coming at all. They've not had good pace recently. But, if they get a podium at least tomorrow, that'll be a big, big improvement for them, really, in their battle in the Constructors' Championship with Mercedes and McLaren. But Charles Leclerc starts on pole. I'll be fascinated to see how he gets on. How can he hold that together? Can he hold that together for long? I would probably say no. But then again, I'd love to see him do well. So let's see what happens. Let's remain positive for the Tifosi on this one, because they need a bit of positivity right now. It's not been too great for them in 2024 recently. So yeah, guys, there we go. Those are the qualifying things that we learned. What are your standouts, and who's winning the race tomorrow? My money, to be honest, if I had to bet, if I was a betting man, my money would still be on Max Verstappen, to be honest. But I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's Sergio Perez. I'd love to see Perez win tomorrow, but let's see what happens. And of course, we'll be here to review it with our 5 things review, as always, guys. So yeah, see you tomorrow.